Henry slowly began to understand the creature's intentions. From the moment they arrived on Earth, they had been preparing to bring about the end of humanity. Now, Henry was nothing more than a tool to communicate their plans. The creatures would use him to deliver a terrifying message to the people, a message that would seal humanity's fate, setting them on an irreversible path. With this realization burning inside him, the creatures carried Henry out of the mine. Henry was found in the town square the next morning. Though his body was present, the man himself was gone. And this was just the beginning. The night's visitors would continue to prey on the town's inhabitants. The darkest night the world had ever seen was shattered by a scream. It was a scream that sent shivers down everyone's spine, a primal, terror-filled cry that echoed through the narrow streets and dilapidated houses of the small town. A few sleepless souls peeked out their windows, trying to figure out what had happened, but the pitch-black darkness outside seemed to have swallowed the screamer whole. It was as if the source of that scream had simply vanished. No trace, no clue. Fear and curiosity intertwined as the silence fell over the streets once again. But this time, it was far more menacing. Everyone could feel it. A storm was brewing. The fear spreading among the townspeople wasn't just about the scream. For weeks, strange lights had been appearing in the night sky, keeping everyone awake. The lights would sometimes show up as giant glowing orbs, other times as thin, slicing streaks cutting through the night. Some thought they were meteor showers, while others believed they were witnessing something supernatural. But no one really knew what was going on. The town was retreating further into itself each day, sinking deeper into darkness with each passing night. Were these lights ghosts dancing in the sky, or was there something else? On the outskirts of the town lay an abandoned mine, a place no one had dared to visit for years. The workers who had once labored there claimed the mine was cursed. Accidents, disappearances, even unexplained deaths. Anyone who approached the mine could sense something was off. But that night, an energy emanated from the mine, an energy that caught the attention of Henry, an old, retired miner. Henry was old and worn out, but his curiosity always kept him alert. The energy lurking in the depths of the darkness sparked a terrifying curiosity in him. His courage overcame his fear, and he grabbed his flashlight and headed toward the mine. As Henry descended into the mine's depths, he was startled by the eerie sounds echoing off the walls. They were metallic, hissing noises, nothing like any human sound. The light from his flashlight struggled to pierce the thick darkness. With every step, the darkness grew thicker, and Henry's heart pounded harder. He was drenched in sweat, but it was too late to turn back. Deep down, he saw something moving in the shadows. Before he could understand what it was, something swift as a breeze rushed toward him. Henry tripped over something and fell hard. Panicking, he searched for his flashlight, but the darkness offered no mercy. The fallen flashlight rolled away and disappeared into the blackness. Henry was enveloped in total darkness, his only companion the sound of his own labored breathing. But the silence didn't last long. Out of the shadows, eyes began to glow, staring directly at him. For a moment, Henry thought these eyes were just his imagination, a trick of his aging mind. But they were so vivid, so real, that Henry's whole body went cold. The eyes drew closer, sending waves of cold terror with every step. Henry was frozen with fear, unable to think of escape. And then he felt a hand on his shoulder, cold, bony, lifeless. Henry instinctively tried to flee, but suddenly the mine was flooded with light. This time, it wasn't the weak beam of his flashlight, but powerful lights tearing through the darkness. The lights from the sky had descended into the mine's depths. The beings responsible for the lights had taken over the mine. These creatures were nothing like humans, tall and thin, with bodies that seemed to emit an eerie glow, illuminating even the surrounding darkness. Their faces were expressionless, but their eyes held a deep, unsettling consciousness. As Henry realized these creatures had noticed him and were approaching, he instinctively backed away, but they didn't let him go. They surrounded him and lifted him off the ground. As the creatures lifted Henry, he suddenly realized he couldn't breathe. Fear was choking him, but the creatures were somehow controlling his thoughts. It was as if they were speaking directly to his mind, but the words weren't in any human language. Disturbing, bizarre images began to flood his mind. What he saw was like a nightmare, showing the end of the world. The earth consumed by flames, people with no place to run, everything on the brink of destruction. Henry was forced to witness the erasure of world history, the helpless extinction of humanity. These creatures were implanting their dark plans into his mind, turning Henry into a harbinger of doom for mankind.